welcome to yoga number 5. Okay, so hopefully it is the start of the second week of accessing these classes and you've done the classes up until now, so on track for the challenge of completing 8 yoga, 8 Pilates in 2 weeks. And today we're actually going to start lying down, so it's quite a chill practice to begin with. So make sure you've got plenty of space and just rolling down onto your back. Actually, before you roll down, I take that back. Excuse me. So we bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet together, the knees wide. So your heels are in as close to the body as you can bring them. Be mindful of knees. And from there, then we roll back. So you're coming down onto your back, but keeping the knees wide. So you're actually allowing the knees to be heavy. If it does really bother you, you can put cushions underneath the knees to support the knees here so they're not just kind of hanging out if it's too much. Or you can always extend the legs if you really need to. So we rest the hands on the belly and just tuning into the breath. So close the eyes for a moment. Just focusing on the inhale, expanding the body. Feel length and lightness. And exhale. Let the lungs empty completely, the body relax. So the inhale is actually connected to your sympathetic nervous system, your fight, flight and stress response. And your exhale is connected to your parasympathetic nervous system. So that's your relaxation response. So when we connect to our breath, we are kind of working with the nervous system a little. So just be really aware of what you're doing with the breath, and you will improve the quality of the breath and tone of the nervous system. So we just take one more deep breath in here. And then a full breath out. Then we inhale, bring the knees in towards each other. And hug the knees into the chest. Good. So from there, hands are on the knees. You can either keep the knees together and make little circles with the knees, or take the knees away from each other for the circles. But either way, you're just kind of massaging the lower back a little bit. So whichever way works better for you, then we circle the other way. Get a bit of movement and flow through the hips. Then we come back to center. Extend the legs towards the sky. So try to keep them long and push through the heels. Flex the ankles. So we inhale. Then exhale, point the toes. So you can support the legs there if you need to. But we inhale, flex the ankles, pull the toes towards the shins. Feel the length through the calf muscles. And exhale, point the toes, releasing. 3 more. We inhale. Exhale. Inhale, exhale, and inhale, exhale. So we don't pay attention to the ankles much or the feet, but they're actually really key to the rest of our body being able to function well. So from here, we actually keep a hold of the right leg, allow the left leg to come down onto the mat. So your right leg, it might be here, it might be here, it doesn't matter, it's all about whether you've got flexi hamstrings or not. So wherever it is, you're catching either the back of the thigh or the calf muscle or the foot, whatever you can reach without lifting the body off the mat. So we want to keep everything else really relaxed. So the idea is to be quite chilled out here. So you're catching that right leg, point through the toes and gently draw the leg in towards you. Understanding also that you are very early on in the practice, so it's not going to be your best ever hamstring stretch, and just be with it. It's okay. And now we flex through the ankle, so push through the heel, then push out through that bottom leg heel. So the left heel pushes towards the wall or whatever's on the feet end of your body. So keep that left leg a little bit active. Try to keep it out long on the mat. So it might want to try and sneak in, because as you bring that right leg in, the pelvis will tilt a little. So we try to keep the pelvis level and work against that and find that length through the back of the leg rather than take the pelvis with us. One more breath there. Then we inhale, reach the right arm out to the right. Exhale, take that right leg all the way over to the left. So we try to keep the leg long. So it doesn't matter how high it is, but once you're there, catch the thigh or the calf muscle or the foot, whatever you reach. And just bring that leg in towards the body. So you're working the right shoulder towards the ground as you bring the right leg towards the body. We take 4 more deep breaths here. You're looking back towards the right hand. 3. 2. So we're just getting a slightly different angle on those hamstrings. 1 more. So then we inhale to bend that knee, coming back to center. Good, and before we switch legs, we exhale, take that knee wide and you're catching a hold of the shin or underneath the calf muscle. So from here, we bring that shin across the body. So if you think of it as if you were trying to touch that right foot to the left shoulder and the right knee to the right shoulder. So it's not actually going to happen. So just don't even get caught up in it. But that gives you that kind of perspective on where you're headed with it. So you're bringing the leg in towards the body, and the foot towards the shoulder, the knee goes wide. Try to keep the knee at a reasonable angle, particularly if you don't have super happy knees. You might need to make sure you're a bit more 90 degrees or more at the knee rather than tucked in. So this is actually an upside down pigeon pose. And we take 1 more breath here. So then we inhale to gently release. Hug that knee into the chest. And exhale to release the leg. Good. So now we bring the left leg in. So kind of extend through the leg. Catch either the thigh or the calf muscle, whatever it is you reach. Point the toes to begin with. Get the length. So just be mindful. If your knee looks like it's about to smack you in the face, you probably got your knee a little bit too bent. So try to extend that leg before you bring it in. Now we flex through the ankles. So push out through both heels. So you get length through both legs. Mindful of that bottom leg just as much as you are of that left leg pulling in towards you. 3 more breaths. 2. And last one. And then we inhale. Slowly release just a little. Take the left arm out to the left. And exhale, take that left leg across to the right. So catching whatever it is you reach, whichever part of that leg, but keep it straight. Work the left shoulder towards the floor as you bring that left leg in towards the body. 4 more breaths. 2. And last one. Good. Then we inhale, bend that knee, come back to center. Hug the knee in. And exhale, take the knee wide. So again, you're catching that foot, that shin, and bring that leg, or the shin rather, in towards the chest. That left foot towards the right shoulder, left knee wide. Okay, keep pressing out through that right leg so the bottom leg is still steady. So we're just working a little bit more into the hip. So we started with our wide legs and getting into hips a little, so we're just continuing that. And 3 more breaths, our upside down pigeon. 2. And last one here. So then we inhale, gently release, and hug that knee into the chest. Then bring the right knee in. And so we curl into a little ball, so you're rolling back and forward. So make sure you're only rolling along the length of the spine rather than up onto the neck. And roll up until you find your seat without touching the ground if you can, so don't let the toes touch. Bring the shins straight, parallel to the ground. Hands can stay there, or if you want to challenge it, arms reach out. Let me take 4 more breaths here. Relaxing the shoulders, lift the heart. 3. spine into the knees. And bring the crossover at the shins. Bring the legs in and roll over onto hands and knees. So I'm just going to turn. So the hands are underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And from here we inhale, lift up through the tailbone, slowly travel the length of the spine, look up. Exhale, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin. Inhale, slowly rolling your way up. Exhale, travel the length of the spine, tuck in. Good, inhale, one more. Exhale, press it back. Good, then we inhale to come back to neutral. Bring the big toes together and exhale, take the knees wide, press back, child's pose. So you're just pressing hips towards heels, heart towards the ground. Walk the hands forward so you can get a bit of length through the armpits, through the triceps if you're a little bit active with the arms. We take 4 more breaths here. Forehead to the ground if you like. 3. So feel the tailbone sort of pulling back towards the feet, but the center of the chest moving towards the hands. So we've always got those 2 opposing energies or forces. We find the space in between. And 1 more breath there. Good, then we inhale, slowly come up, slide it forward, come all the way down onto the belly. Good, so you're keeping the elbows underneath the shoulders, looking up, and just have the idea, like plant the hands and pull the elbows as if you're trying to pull the elbows back towards the feet and open up through the chest, so be quite active through that. Lift up through the crown of the head, so you're not dumping into your neck, you're just lifting, keeping the spine long or the neck long. Just 2 more breaths here. Just feel the length through the front of the body. And 1 more breath there. Good, then we inhale. Gently release it. Come down onto the hands, so bring the hands underneath those shoulders and exhale. Press it back, coming onto the hands and knees. So the hands are under the shoulders once more, knees under the hips. We inhale, lift the right hand high, and exhale, slide it through behind the left wrist, come all the way down. If you're steady there, you're resting the head, resting on the shoulder, lift the left arm up and wrap it around behind you. So if you can grab your shirt or the inside of your hip or the inside of that right thigh, just draw that shoulder open. We have 3 more breaths here. 2. So kind of concentrating on the shoulder and that gentle twist. And 1 more. Then releasing that left hand, bring it all the way down onto the mat. Then inhale, press into the left hand, lift the right hand high, and exhale, release. Good, so we can move on to the second side. Inhale, lift the left arm up, and exhale, slide it through, come all the way down onto that shoulder. I'm going to try not to do that because I'm going to try not to mess up with the mic. So you're just sliding all the way down, then lift the right arm up and reach it around behind, catch a hold of your left hip or inner thigh or whatever you reach. So you're really opening up through that right shoulder now. Rest the head wherever it's comfortable. Deepen the breath, keep it slow. So our practice today is quite chill. We're just taking it easy. It's the halfway point or just past halfway. And if we've been doing a lot of Pilates, and we don't usually do a lot of Pilates, I don't know about your body, but my body's actually feeling it at the moment. So we're just kind of being kind. Then release the right hand, bring it back to the ground, press into the hand, inhale, lift the left arm up, and exhale to release that hand. So we come back onto the hands and knees. Now from here we tuck the toes, inhale, And exhale, press hips towards heels, lift up to a down dog. So keep the bend in the knees, lift up high through the hips. Now if you kind of imagine somebody had a strap or something around your hips and they were pulling your hips towards the ceiling, and then your upper body and your legs are just kind of cascading from there. So there's a lot of energy in the lift. Turn the armpits towards each other. Take one more deep breath in. And full breath out. So then we inhale to lift the right leg, but you're keeping the left leg where it is, and keep the hips square. So it's tempting to go hiking through the hips because we want to get a bit higher, but we keep them square, and now we bring the right knee towards that right wrist and the shin down across the front of the mat. So we come down onto the right hip. Now from here, we have done this one before, so we're bringing that shin a little further forward. If it bugs your knee, then do bend that back knee and come up a little bit. If it's available to you though, we try to send that left leg back behind you and get the hips square. So we're trying to get that left hip facing forward. So you might need to grab a cushion or a rolled up towel or something and put it underneath that front hip. So you can actually help yourself to get out of that knee, but also to help you get the hips square. So if you put something underneath this bent hip, then that can be really helpful also. So grab it if you need to, press pause and then come back. The hands are out in front, we inhale. So fingertips if you can, if it's just too much then just stay on the hands. Exhale, gently melting forward, chest moves forward. Then we inhale, lead with the back of the heart and roll up. The head comes up last. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale to lift. Exhale to fold. And just one more inhale, rolling it up. And exhale to come down and walk the hands out. So we stay low now. And just walk the hands out and release it forward. So most of us will get to a point where we're on our forearms, and it's not necessarily comfortable, but at the same time it's not super uncomfortable and really beneficial yet. So if you shift your elbows a little further forward, think of it as if you're trying to get the center of your chest to the ground. It's not about getting the top of your head or your elbows down, you're working center of the chest. So don't panic if it doesn't happen, but don't limit yourself either by hanging out on the elbows. And it's tricky not being there, but so it's kind of you have to find your edge there, find what's challenging but still being kind. And we just breathe here. So the idea is to hang out for a moment. So we are trying to be a bit more chilled out and not super gymnastic about it. And we just take 3 more deep breaths here. 2. 1 more. So then we inhale, walk the hands in, slowly coming up. Good, and from there, grounding the hands, tuck the toes, and exhale, unwind it. So it can take a little bit of unwinding, so you can pedal out the feet, down dog or plank, do what you need to do, just kind of allow the body to sort of settle into that. And then we come back to our down dog, we inhale, lift the left leg, and exhale, bring the left knee towards the left wrist and the shin across the front of the mat. So the same options as before. Grab a cushion or something, put it underneath that left hip if you need to. Open it out and bend that back knee if you need to. So just working with your body. Hands are out in front and exhale to come forward. So that right hip presses forward and chest towards the ground. So again, just be mindful that you're not just hanging out on the forearms. challenge it a little. And rather than focus on the sensation, because most of us hate this one, we focus more on the breathing. So see how much you can slow it down. See if you can extend the exhale a little longer than the inhale. So give your mind something else to do, something else to focus on. And we take 3 more deep breaths here. 2. And last one here. So then we inhale, walk the hands in. Grounding the hands, tucking those back toes. And exhale to slowly unwind it. And just gently release. Be slow, be kind. Unwind. Take a deep breath in. And a full breath out. Then we inhale to come forward to plank. Lower the knees if you like, or stay from plank. And exhale to lower it down. So from here we come up onto the forearms. Good. So again, if this is a bit crunchy in the lower back, move the elbows further forward. So we want a little lift of the chest, but not a real grab in the lower back. We're going to come up onto those forearms. The left forearm across the front of the body, right hand out in front, thumb to the ceiling. Swing it around behind you, keep the thumb up, catch the right arch or the big toe side of that right foot. And then from there, square the hips, draw the right heel towards the ground. So not towards the bottom, try to take it a little bit wider. Be mindful of your lower back and your knee. 4 more breaths. 3. 2. Last one. Then we inhale, gently release that, and switch the arms. Good, so your left arm out, thumb to the sky, swing it around, bend the left leg, catch that foot, square the hips, heel towards the earth. 5 breaths. So remember, it doesn't matter what it looks like for you, you're working with your body. Adjust the height of the chest if you need. 2 more breaths here. And last one. So then we inhale, gently release. Good, and before you do come all the way onto the belly, there are 2 options here. So we are going to hang out in a little bit more of that back bend for a moment. So option 1, if you're feeling pretty chilled today and you want to keep it that way, we bring the elbows together. So what it looks like, the forearms are literally touching elbows together. We're bringing them in and rest the head in the hands. It's crocodile pose, it's a legit pose. So if this works for you today, stay with this. If you do want to work a little harder though, we come onto the belly, interlace the hands, and lift the chest, lift the shoulders, keep the feet on the ground, lift the hands away from the hips. So you're either in that crocodile pose or you're joining me here in a variation of locust. And just keep the breathing. Breathe into the sides of the ribs. And we just take 2 more breaths here. Opening the shoulders, the chest. And last one. So then wherever you are, release it down. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. And exhale, we're pressing back. to a child's pose. So whether you keep the knees together or take the knees as wide as your mat or slightly wider than the hips, it doesn't really matter, your choice. And just let the body melt for a moment. So we're keeping length in the spine without trying to do a forward fold, or we're just being gentle after the extension. 3 more breaths here. 2. Last one. And then we inhale, slowly roll the way up to sitting. So if it's comfortable for you, just sitting back on the heels. If not, find another way to sit that's comfortable. So we're just going to get into the arms and the shoulders a little bit. So it doesn't matter too much how you're sitting, but if possible, sitting on the heels. So from there, we inhale to lift up. Good, and then exhale, bend the right elbow, left hand onto the right elbow. From here, if you know you have the range, or if you have a hand towel or a belt or something handy and you can catch a hold of the hands behind you, then feel free to do that option too. So whichever works, we're just trying to open up the armpit and the triceps area. Remember, sitting however it's comfortable. So if this is not comfortable seat for you, then you don't need to be in it. 3 more deep breaths. 2. Last one. Good. Then we inhale to gently release the arms, take them out wide, and we lift all the way up. Bend the left elbow, right hand encourages that left arm down. And then if you have that strap handy or you have the range, roll the right shoulder forward, bring the right hand behind and bind. Keep the ribs in. Take deep breaths here. Feel the rib cage expand, the belly expand with the breath. And feel it release, relax with your inhale. And 3 more deep breaths here. 2. And last one. Then we inhale to gently release. Take the arms out wide. Good, and then exhale. Bring your right arm underneath your left. I'm just going to watch the mic there. Elbows cross and bend at the elbows. So either the back of the hands or if you can, palms of the hands touch or press. Then we lift up through the elbows. Pull the shoulder blades down and the hands move away from the face. So adjust your seat if you need to. 4 more breaths, just opening through the back of the shoulders. 3. 2. Last one. So then we inhale, unwind it. Take the arms out wide. And exhale, bring the left elbow underneath the right. So we bind wherever it works. Lift elbows, pull shoulders down. Hands move away from the face. Close the eyes if you like. I'm not moving or going anywhere. 4 deep breaths. 3. 2. Last one. Alright, then we inhale, unwind, take the arms wide. Good, and then release. sitting here and you're still comfortable, stay with this option. If you need to, come down, or if you're in a different seated position, bring your feet to your left. So if your feet are to your left, you're taking the right hand behind you, left hand onto the right knee, sit up tall, and find the twist. If you're sitting on your shins, you can bring the hands to the heart and twist it to your right. So you're hooking the left elbow outside that right knee, leaning in. Either way, we're looking over the right shoulder, and we keep the length in the spine and twist. 3 more deep breaths here. 2. And last one. And inhale, come back to center. So if you're in this option, we switch sides. If you're in the other option, switch the feet to the right. So you're coming down, and then take that left hand behind you and twist. 4 more breaths. So I know I give a lot of options. This is the trick of filming. I can't see what's in front of me or who's in front of me, so I don't know how everybody's going or who's participating. So kind of trying to cover as many bases as I can, talking to a camera. Take 1 more deep breath in here. And exhale to twist. Good, then we inhale, release it, come back to center. And then release the legs, bring them out in front. Good, and here is your moment for Shavasana, relaxation. So you're going to slowly roll down onto your back. Or if you really have to dash off, then dash off. But do make that commitment for a Shavasana or a relaxation, just that moment of rest, where the body is still and the mind is, you're not trying to still the mind in a Shavasana, you're allowing the thoughts to just do their thing. The trick is to try not to participate in the thoughts or follow them or track them down or be involved in them or judge. Just let them come and go as if they were clouds floating through your mind. So they move, they're kind of interesting, kind of not, and just let them pass through. So give yourself at least 5 minutes to do that at some point today. And thank you very much for watching Yoga 5. So we can play Yoga 6.